In this video, you'll learn how to utilize Boolean operators and parentheses to build your PubMed search. Boolean operators are simple logical commands that are used to combine or exclude key terms when searching an electronic database. PubMed uses three Boolean search operators. And is used to narrow a search, or is used to broaden a search and not eliminates a term from the search. The operators must be capitalized for PubMed to recognize them as commands, rather than short, unimportant words which will be ignored by the search engine. The first Boolean operator is AND. It can be used by placing it between keywords you are searching, separated by spaces. AND tells PubMed to return results that have both keywords on each side of the AND operator. AND is the default Boolean operator in PubMed, so with a free text search like the one we performed in the first video, PubMed will automatically add AND between the terms and provide results for entries that have all of the keywords.
Using our previous example, diabetes treatment pregnancy oral would give the same results as diabetes and treatment and pregnancy and oral. Let's try it out. As you can see, PubMed finds the same number of results for both searches because they are equivalent.
Let's return to our clinical scenario. Upon further questioning, ML says she is already taking metformin and glyburide for type 2 diabetes treatment. She is wondering if either of these agents can be continued during her pregnancy.
Now that we have more information about the patient, we want to dig deeper into these specific oral agents. We can start by changing the PubMed search to a very simple search string for purposes of illustration: pregnancy and glyburide. At this point, we can do the same search for metformin by entering pregnancy and metformin. These two separate searches should provide all results that mention the keyword pregnancy along with either of these drugs.
The second Boolean operator PubMed recognizes is OR. You can use OR if you don't necessarily need all the keywords from a search string, and maybe one out of a series of keywords is sufficient. This could apply to the search we just did. We just learned how to search for pregnancy and glyburide, then pregnancy and metformin as separate searches. Let's see how to combine these terms into a single search with the OR operator.
If we're interested in finding out whether metformin or glyburide are recommended to use in pregnancy, we can add an OR Boolean operator to let PubMed know to search for articles mentioning either medication. Let's see what happens when we add OR glyburide to the end of the search string. The search results jump to 7,000 hits, which is much more than the previous search. It's unlikely these new hits are all related to glyburide use during pregnancy, so what went wrong with this search?
What happened can be explained by PubMed's search algorithm. It searches each term in the order they were entered, and it treats the OR operator as a command to perform an additional search. This allows any keyword on either side of an OR command to be present in the results set. In this case, PubMed first searched for articles containing both pregnancy and metformin. Then it also searched for articles containing only glyburide. PubMed displayed the results for both of these searches all in one set. Our problem was that glyburide was not linked to the keyword pregnancy. Adding OR glyburide at the end of the string commanded PubMed to search all articles with only the word glyburide in it, whether or not it related to pregnancy.
We can modify this search by adding parentheses in the correct location to tell PubMed what we really intended to search.
Now PubMed will read the search string like a math equation following an order of operations. It groups pregnancy with metformin in one search, then pregnancy with glyburide in another search. It will search for all the articles mentioning either metformin and pregnancy together, or glyburide and pregnancy together, then display all matching articles in one set of results. Parentheses tell PubMed in what order you want the keywords to be searched. It is very important when utilizing OR commands.
We'll make our search even more useful by adding the term diabetes to ensure that these results include that disease state. The same concept will apply here as previously. As long as we use the AND operator to connect diabetes to the search string, it tells PubMed that the term must appear somewhere in the entry, whereas either one of the keywords connected by the OR operator can be present, considering the effect of parentheses.
The third Boolean operator PubMed utilizes is NOT. The not operator tells PubMed to exclude PubMed entries that contain the following keyword. Let's go back to the clinical scenario. While scanning through the PubMed results page, you notice many article titles contain the word insulin, so you suggest to ML she may want to consider insulin therapy. ML explains that she hates needles and would much rather continue her oral anti-diabetic agents.
Now that we have more background information about the example patient, we can modify the PubMed search string. Since the drug information question pertains to oral anti-diabetic therapies and the patient refuses to use insulin, we may want to exclude articles with the term insulin because they are not relevant. To eliminate insulin from the search, we can add a not operator to the search string. The results were narrowed by more than half.
As a word of caution, we don't generally recommend using the not operator, especially in the beginning of your search. In this case, even though insulin isn't the specific therapy we're looking for, perhaps the standard treatments for diabetes and pregnancy involve insulin. We don't want to limit these search too much so that we're missing out on potentially relevant articles.
For example, sometimes the introduction of articles can contain the term you are trying to eliminate. The background section could say something along the lines of, the standard of care for diabetes and pregnancy is generally insulin, but in this study we compared oral anti-diabetic agents. We would have unknowingly eliminated this result from the search just because it mentioned the word insulin in a context that wouldn't necessarily mean it is not useful. We'll remove not from our search string for now.
Move on to the next training video to learn about how we can tell PubMed to search variations of words to make this search more sensitive.